Emma, you must love fascism because you support vaccines and abortions, which helps fascism. Hello lovely people, my name is Emma, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to take a look at some more of the worst messages and comments I have had on social media. Yay! A while back I did a video called The Worst Online Dating Messages where I shared the horrifying disasters, 90% from online dating, 1 or 2 random DMs, and people seem to enjoy it. I'm glad that people, including myself, got a laugh out of it, make the pain worthwhile. And a couple of people wanted a sequel, and I thought, well, I don't use dating apps anymore. I've only really got a couple of other messages from online dating that would be sort of funny. And then I thought, if I branch it out, not just in online dating, but just the messages and comments I receive in general, I've got material for years. I've had some insane, hilarious, terrifying conversations on various parts of the internet over the years. If you're a woman on the internet and you're outspoken about anything, you know what I'm talking about. So I'm going to share those with you today. I hope that you can take some joy out of this, laugh with me, get some entertainment out of it, make my pain and misery worthwhile. So I am going to start with a few more dating app ones. I'm going to shuffle over and then we can put messages up on the side. Won't that be nice? Now, disclaimer, some of these, like this one, I've included just because I think that my own replies are quite funny. Forgive me for being a little self-indulgent. So this is the dating app not to be named. The one that all the mad ones come from the previous video, where anyone can message you. You don't have to match before you message, so you get things. You have to ward off people however you can. Skipping the small talk. Will you be down to sext without nudes? Give it a try if you aren't sure. I don't know, you probably wouldn't be into my kinks. Now you've got me more interested. Ah, and bit hot. Tell me about one of your kinks. I'm really into ball crushing. Like specifically violently enough to permanently disfigure. Okay, well I'm not into that. Sorry for the trouble. Please use that. If you need to use that in any situation, please go for it. It will kill the conversation dead instantly. I've used it a couple of times. You can have that for free. This is one I just thought was funny. I have Big D. No one cares. Okay, sorry. Sit on my face and I'll eat my way to your heart. This is one where the message is totally fine. I'm proud of my own reply. Hey, what's babe? Kiss kiss. It's a film from 1995 based on Dick King Smith's novel The Sheep Pig, about a pig who learns to herd sheep. It's a good, heartwarming family movie that I highly recommend. Not sure why you're asking though. Here's an astounding escalation. 10:58 PM. What's your favourite game? 12:52 AM the next day. Do you like anal sex? 7:13 PM. Wow, you're gorgeous. 7:42 PM. Wow, you're gorgeous. 8 PM. Wow, you're gorgeous. 8:38 PM. Wow, you're gorgeous. 9:07 PM. Ignorant. But just over an hour between the entire conversation he had with himself. Outstanding. Okay, this one is long and disgusting. I'm warn you now. Hey you seem like just my kind of girl. Oh, sunglasses emoji. Random question. Have you ever or would you ever like to try sex when high? I'm looking for a playmate for now or another time soon. All supplies and transport provided. But if you can chip in, we can get more, of course. Hee hee. Plus, I know loads about sex. I believe you. Without wishing to blow my own trumpet, I know lots of positions and tantra and Kama Sutra and how to make all girls squirt and give full body, multiple, clitoral, vaginal, G, A, and to deep spot orgasms. He's definitely Googled a bunch of sex terms and has put I know about this and this and this, and therefore I'm good at sex. How to do first time anal, fisting, etc. If that's not too much information. It is too much information. Actually, it is too much information. I wish I had had the opportunity to say no to that information before you had sent it all. Talents get wasted if they're not known about. Hee hee. Have a few regular fun buddies around your age. He was 39. Which was fine until he mentioned they're all around my age, and now I have the idea that he's specifically looking for younger women to have sex and do drugs with. And then that makes it weird. Message me on WhatsApp, and then his phone number, very brave. Or Kik, and then his Kik number, not so brave. And we can chat and maybe discuss possibly meeting. Is that not all a bit forward for the first ever message you say to somebody? What if I turned out to be like a racist or something? I could be literally anyone, I might be a murderer. He doesn't know me at all. What if I'm like, yes, but only if you dress up as Bobo the Clown? Actually, probably wouldn't put him off. Here's one of those glorious ones that is, sort of negging. It's that classic man asks you out, you indicate you're not interested. He claims he was never interested in you anyway because here are all your flaws. You know the type. You know, yeah? Just being honest, but I can tell you've never been with a black guy, lol. You look like you need to some culture and good eggplant in your life, lol. Winky face. Okay. You what, mate? I said, okay. Okay then. But I was right though, innit? You've never had culture inside you, lol. It's not your place to ask, really, is it? Seeing as you'll never get anywhere close. I'd probably break you in half, lol. Black men like thick women anyway. You fall short of that criteria. Body built like an ironing board, lol. Now, honestly though, you look like one German Ute. Looking like a German student. I don't know what this guy's problem with German students is. If you're a German student, do we look similar? I don't know, do you look different as a student in Germany? And then once you graduate, you just sort of morph into, you know, like a caterpillar turning into a butterfly? Or he was perfectly interested in having sex with me before, but now that I've said no, I'm too skinny anyway. Whatever you have to tell yourself, darling. You're a woman. Start dressing like one, because right now you will look like you're about to sympathy Guten Tag with your Nikon camera, take pics all around London. Laughing emojis. There's some sort of strange irony about a guy messaging me asking if I've ever been with a black man. Well, assuming I've never been with a black man. And then being weirdly racist about German people. It's like this guy must have met a German student one time and like not gotten on, and he's like projecting that onto girls who reject him on the internet. There's something weird happening there. That's all for the dating app ones. I'm going to move on to general social media, and I've got a couple of YouTube-based comments in here that I'm going to share with you. This one was on a video I did quite a few years ago now that not very many people watched. It was a cosplay of Jughead Jones from Riverdale. You remember back when the first season was quite good before it all went totally weird off the rails. Back in the good old days, I did a Jughead cosplay, and to be honest, I'm still pretty happy with it. I think it was pretty fucking good. But not everyone agreed, particularly this guy, who said he's not a posh squeaker that sounds autistic. I think all of those assumptions come from the fact that I'm British. And also a woman. I think he might have thought that I'm a young boy rather than an adult woman, but that happens quite a lot, so. Here's one I got very recently that I thought was quite funny. Hello, I found you on YouTube. Hi Chris, can I help you with anything? Just wanted to say you're amazing and I love your videos. Oh, thank you. That's so kind. I so rarely get those messages and comments that when I do, it makes my heart really happy, and that's why I like to reply to people and engage, because you get stuff like that. You also get really valuable feedback, and sometimes people carry on the conversation with things like, I like how you have low-cut tops too. Hope that isn't weird. I think you know that it is. Do you have an OnlyFans? At this point I just started replying with memes. I just think you were very hot. So, no nudes. Yesterday I got into a conversation with somebody who turned out to be a mad conspiracy theorist. I apologise for using that terminology, but there's no other way I can describe this person. There was a ridiculous post being shared around by pro-life people, or a friend pointed me to the term forced birther, actually, which I think is much better. I might start trying to use that now. So some forced birthers were sharing around this image, and it's a picture of a woman and there's a fully grown baby in her uterus, as though that's the point at which abortions happen. And I pointed out that this is terribly misleading, as so much of this pro-life content is because they have to use emotional manipulation in order to get their point across, because they don't have reason and logic on their side. And I regret it deeply, because I ended up in conversation with one of the most mad people I've ever spoken to. This person was replying to every single comment on this public post, which was thousands and thousands of comments, and just harassing everyone, including me, for a very long time. Until I started saying nothing but banana in response, and even then he kept going. So I note that this person is a conspiracy theorist because they didn't believe in COVID, they thought COVID was a hoax. I even pointed out that vaccines helped us eradicate things like polio and rubella and measles, and they don't believe that. They don't, but despite science and history showing that that's absolutely true. And so according to this person, Emma, you must love fascism because you support vaccines and abortions, which helps fascism. Ah yes, Bodily autonomy for women. That is the marker of a totalitarian society. How do I end up in conversations with these people on the internet? I need to stop. I need the internet taken away from me like 5 days a week because it's not good. Here's a message request I got on Reddit. A short and simple one. I'll come in you. Last year I set up a new Tumblr. I was thinking after the rules changed and it stopped having the pornographic side of it, I thought there might be less creepiness on there, which is essentially my problem with it before, and so I started up a new one primarily for posting my cosplay pictures. It does exist, you can go on there if you want. I'll put the name in the description because I genuinely can't remember what it is. I think I changed it to Emma Thorne. I might just be Emma Thorne on Tumblr, but I'll put it in the description anyway if you want somewhere to send me an anonymous question or something, and maybe to look at some of my cosplays and hear me rant about the Bible and stuff every now and then. But you can't post anything on there without still getting weirdos. So a little bit ago I posted a picture of me with a literal box of sugar, holding a box of sweets because I was so excited I had ordered this giant box of sweets. I immediately got loads of like sugar daddy bot accounts and like sugar daddy spam. Sugar baby needed to spoil silly with weekly allowance, $1,000 via a PayPal and Cash App. And then he included an actual number, which is again risky business. There needs to be some sort of default number or like something that that you can give these numbers to. When you get numbers from dodgy men and scams and stuff on the internet, you should be able to send your number off to somebody. It just does some sort of default reply for you that's like, this person isn't falling for your bullshit. That would be brilliant. This was in response to my, I think, first post on the new Tumblr, which was a picture of my Spider-Gwen costume. I bet you get your pussy filled so much. Your ass is so hot. There's a Facebook group for a certain convention, a big convention that happens in London every year, twice a year, and it's horrendous. Not the convention. The convention is great fun, but the Facebook group is awful, and it was so awful that they shut it down and started up a new one like a year or two ago, and I thought, brilliant, a fresh start, no more of the trash and the hate of the old one, and it immediately became exactly the same thing. It's wildly sexist. It's horrendously sexist. You can't see a single picture of a woman's costume without just people being disgusting and sexualizing them, or people saying that they are disgusting for being in a costume, or that they don't look right for the costume, or they are too fat, too skinny. It's the whole breadth of everything. Like, if you're a guy and you don't think that sexism in nerd culture is still a problem, you're so wrong. Like, talk to some of your women friends, because my god, you're so wrong. It is rife. You cannot get away from it. And so naturally, some people were being, by people I mean men and young boys, were being very sexist and horrible on this woman's cosplay, so I stepped in and tried to defend her, and they did the thing that men on social media often do when they don't like you and they don't like your points, but they don't have anything to actually retaliate with, where they start insulting your appearance and so on. Has to jump in and fights for woman's rights when it is not even needed, when the hidden reason is because old plain Jane can't relate to it. Probably the only thing she gets attention from at con is the sniffer dogs on the way in. Firstly, I love the dogs that work at conventions. They are such cute, good boys, and if they weren't being handled by professional security personnel and doing a very important job, I would love to give them all of the cuddles and kisses in the world. Secondly, I would love for that to be the only attention I got at a con. It would save me a lot of hassle. For a while I was quite involved in the incel men who hate women subreddits on Reddit. I started off trying to genuinely help and offer advice, and I think about 2 people were kind and responsive and really wanted to change and were just sort of sad and lonely. And another like 100 or so told me to die. They wanted me to get killed in various horrendous ways. If you speak against misogyny on Reddit, it's getting much better, and you can tell because the right-wing Reddit users are complaining about it more and more. But even so, it's still very much, if you try and say anything about misogyny on anywhere that isn't like a subreddit made by women for women, then people will be unbelievably vicious. Actually, this is a related point. This is a point that relates to my channel, in fact, because somebody asked a while ago why I ask for people to like the video if the likes are disabled, and the likes weren't actually disabled. I've re-enabled them now so that they show up so that everybody can see, but I had them turned off for a while because incels were stalking my social media to the point where they had stolen loads of my photos, they had found out my name, my boyfriend's name, they were sharing his photos, they were making up stuff about I slept with the whole football team and all of the usual incel madness, and it got to the point where they were actually talking about whether they could get me fired from my job. And there were a couple of incels that followed me to YouTube and were commenting on things, and I had to keep blocking people, and then they would jump on every upload I did and dislike the videos. And what these people want is attention, so I basically hid them from everything and hid the likes and blocked everything that they could see that would show them that they were having any kind of effect on me. And it worked, and they're gone, so the likes are back up now. Anyway, there's a couple of messages from incels on here, so you can imagine how these are going to go. So this is a guy, and by guy I mean this is probably a 12-year-old boy, if we're being completely honest. And he was explaining how he knows how to hack so that he could get somebody's nudes and they would never know that it was him that shared them. So it was in a discussion about revenge porn, I think. Blah, blah, blah. I know how to hack. I've uploaded revenge porn before from some random thought. I've never been caught. I said, sure, because no, you fucking haven't. It bodes well that incels aren't believed when they say things they have done or are capable of. It allows us to keep under the radar, evade being caught, and possibly do it again. I'm sure plenty of people online called the likes of Saint ER and Saint AM. Yeah, I'm not actually sure who AM is, but ER is Elliot Rodger. This is a young man calling a mass shooter a saint, so you can see what kind of person this is. And Saint AM, a troll, believed they would never really do anything to anyone in real life. I'll leave you with that. I just said, it bodes well. It was autocorrect, you fucking cunt. I hope you get violently... Some people are very sensitive. I got a friend request a while ago on Facebook based on one of the groups I'm in. For some reason, this person posts videos of himself talking about like men's issues and some stuff to do with incels. I basically commented on one of these videos explaining what I'm saying here, which is that I sort of agree with some points and disagree with many others. I'm not sure this is my type of person or my type of content, basically. And then he added me as a friend and sent me a Facebook message, and I said, "Hi, do I know you?" And he said, "I'm trying to convince you to subscribe to my channel, and there are many subscribers who are also Facebook friends." And then he sent me this video of his reading poetry on the toilet. And it is literally him reading from a poetry book while sat on the toilet with his pants down. Man, people on Facebook are the craziest. That is where you get the most sort of madness. Reddit is where you get the meanest stuff, and then Facebook is where you're like, what? So this one is actually a woman. This might be the first, and I think, yeah, this is the only crazy message in all of these videos that is from a woman. So make of that what you will. There was a there was a meme posted in a meme group, and the joke was centered around the kink community. And I thought it was a funny joke. It was a very silly joke, and a lot of other people found it very funny. A couple of people did not find it funny. A couple of people were very offended because sexuality is evil, and despite the jokes in these groups being about death and politics and all sorts of crazy things all the time, the minute you bring up something that could vaguely be considered sexual without being explicit in any way, people get mad. It was a Facebook group for a British show, and this woman said, "Only British humour welcome here, sir. Just like the American version of this show, your attempt at a joke falls on deaf ears and cringing souls. 1 out of 10 not funny." A lot of people did find it funny. I found it very funny. Today I learned only Americans can joke about BDSM. Here is the reply. I'm not sure where you read that I said only Americans can specifically say this joke. I called it American humour, which is factually correct. Disagree. British people that aren't from Gen Z, I'm not from Gen Z, don't make those jokes. It's called Americanism. That's not true because I'm not American, I'm not from Gen Z, and I make those jokes. The kink community, I live in London, the kink community in the UK is alive and well, trust me. You look about 12 and probably only joke about BDSM on Tumblr. Shut up. Trying to be #seen #as fuck. Nobody cares. Go and cosplay because your parents never loved you. Girls like you literally piggyback onto real people's interests. The first time I read this, I thought it said people's real interests, but no, it says real people's interests. Like, I'm not a real person. I'm just some sort of like construct who lives inside the internet. I don't exist in reality. I'm like, ooh, this gets likes, I'll take that, and ooh, this gets likes, I'll put a costume on from that, and like, not an actual human being who has interests and likes of my own. Girls like you literally piggyback onto real people's interests and dress up as shitty characters for likes, and that's coming from someone who's played video games every day for the past 20 years. 1, I don't believe you. Nobody has played video games every day for the last 20 years. You've been somewhere without a games console. Unless you've never worked a day in your life, I simply don't believe you. If you're using hyperbole and you're saying that you've been playing video games for 20 years very frequently, then so have fucking I. You're a cliche and I'm literally sick to death. Literally sick to death. I've killed her. She's writing this from beyond the grave. I'm literally sick to death. Every time anyone comments anywhere, there's some annoying little waste of space like you who comes crawling out the woodwork like a lanky, butch-looking grudge. I don't know what a grudge is. I'm 5'3". The butch part, I just have short hair. I get called butch all the time. I don't care about that, but lanky? I must photograph tall. I've never been called lanky in my life. Looking like a lanky butch-looking grudge to push your glasses up your nose and say, "Excuse me, I'll have you know." Well, I'm here to give you 1, a reality check, we're still fucking going, and 2, a massive essay for sticking your nose where it doesn't belong. I haven't said even close to what you commented, but because you just had to be right, you can now live with knowing what the world actually thinks about you from looking at your socials. Comment down below what you think of me from looking at my socials. Go and take a look at my Instagram like this woman did and decide whether I'm a real person or if I'm a figment of your imagination who's piggybacking on the interests of real people. Honestly, if I pretended to be interested in video games and movies and stuff, which would be amazing considering I managed to land a career in the post-production industry working in film and TV, but whatever, I would pretend to like cooler video games. Like, my main genre of video game that I enjoy and talk about is 3D platformers from the early 2000s. It's not cool. I'm playing Stuart Little 2 on my gaming channel right now, by the way. If you want to go and see a fake gamer girl, fake hashtag seen as fuck cosplay because my parents don't love me girl playing video games, then go over to Little Duck Gaming. I think probably that person was just having like a really bad day and didn't expect to get any kind of comment on anything. Because I mean, I didn't say anything particularly rude. I didn't really say anything to her of any consequence, and she just like ripped my whole existence apart. Back to the incels of Reddit, here's another nice simple one. I hope you get to be honest. As in legit, none of that regret BS. Dumb thought. Here's another one, with the subject heading, "Hi, I just wanted to ask you something, smiley face. Nothing can express how much I hate you, whore. I hope you slit your subhuman wrists after realising what a ugly genetic trash useless waste of space you are. You need to be gassed, brackets, exterminated, like Hitler did to subhumans." My favourite thing about this is that the second sentence, it's like, in case I don't understand what he means by gassed, he's like, I mean killed, like what Hitler did. Here's another good Reddit one. You're literally the poster girl for a female Redditor. Short hair, boneless face. I just like imagining my face sort of like, that's kind of how I feel when I'm like, my posture is really bad, I'm watching TV and eating crisps in the evening, I'm like my face is just boneless, it's just melting off. Boneless face just really makes me laugh. Short hair, boneless face, bulging eyes that scream daddy issues. There's a clear off vibe about you. Okay, this is the last one. This is again from an incel on Reddit, and it requires a tiny bit of explanation, so bear with me. I had a message from somebody that I didn't accept, obviously, because the first line was, "I would hurt you if I could get away with it, so count yourself lucky that you don't know me." That on its own is, that's enough to make you want to decline the message, yeah? So I posted this onto Reddit to be like, look what charming messages we're getting today, everyone. And I got a reply from somebody basically saying, not all incels. It was some guy saying, you know, "I'm very sorry you got this message, but we're not all like that." And I replied foolishly, very nicely, saying, "I know, there are lots of nice people, blah, 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 but you need to understand, whatever." And then I realised that the person who had commented saying not all incels was the same person who had sent me the message saying I would hurt you if I could. And therefore he sort of outed himself to the community and was getting in a lot of trouble on the incel subreddits that are, for example, incels without hate, the ones that aren't supposed to get wrapped up in bullying and sending violent messages to other people. And so after this realisation that it was his stupid self who had sent me both the horrible threat and the "not all incels are like this," for fuck's sake, I got this message. "Why do much hatred? I sent you a PM that was a bit unfriendly. I'll admit that. A bit unfriendly. But I never insulted you. You, on the other hand, called me an idiot and an asshole in the comments section, just because I said that I would hurt you if I could get away with it. The statement was not a personal attack, because I would hurt all young women if I could get away with it. Not just you. Oh, that's alright then, isn't it? If he really is the way that he's describing himself here, then he must genuinely have a problem with empathy. He is utterly outraged that I would call him an asshole, but doesn't think there's anything wrong with telling me that he would hurt me and all women if he could. That is, there's a problem there, and that is somebody who should definitely not be mixing in these social circles on the internet. For sure. Yes, I was stupid for logging in with the same account that I used to send you the message, but that does not justify your rudeness. So a lot of people say this kind of stuff. It's the whole eye for an eye thing, and to be honest, as a woman at this point in my life who has always been involved in nerd culture and always spent a lot of time on the internet, I 100% disagree. In most of my content you will hear me say that we blame the action, not the person, and almost all the time I think you can resolve things by being polite but firm. You can tell somebody exactly how you feel, and if they're not willing to have a respectable conversation about it, then you can just let it go. But you don't usually need to be mean. There's no need to be rude in most cases. When it comes to men on the internet threatening women, I 100% disagree. I think you have every right to be a rude asshole, and if you can get a little bit of entertainment and a little bit of laughter out of pointing out that somebody is a fucking moron, signing into the wrong account to send you both a threat and a message saying not all of us would do that, then you absolutely deserve a little bit of ribbing. Women who are outspoken on the internet have to deal with this shit all the time, and I know men hate to hear about it. If it's not you who's doing that, then you can feel a bit insulted, and I understand that, but you have to just put those feelings aside and accept that we have to deal with this shit on the regs. I mean, look at all the messages I have just shared. This is a point that I absolutely disagree with. I think that there is justification for being rude, and I think that if you're messaging somebody, I think that if you message someone because you've seen them standing up against misogyny, and you're messaging them to tell them that they should be glad they don't know you because you would love to hurt them, yes, there is justification for being rude. So that's my 2 cents on that. Why did you not accept the invite? He means to his message. Why did you not accept the invite? He sent me a message saying he wishes he could hurt me and then wonders why I didn't accept the message. And yet men will always be like, well, why do you accept messages or have your messages open if you don't want this kind of blah, blah, blah. We could have resolved this in private. If you had accepted the invite, you would have seen that my message was not completely hateful. This is the complete message that I sent you. I would hurt you if I could get away with it, so count yourself lucky that you don't know me. But I do think the other incel who wrote you was a bit unfair when he described you as average looking. Your lips look as if they were surgically enhanced and your eyes are really cute. So you're actually quite pretty. Your hair is not bad either. Oh good, so it was a horrible threat and then really creepy too. Well, now I sure regret not opening my message and having a conversation with that lovely dude. I'm clearly the one in the wrong here. So there we go. There's another round of the worst messages for you. I hope you found some of that entertaining. I think some of them are quite funny. You kind of have to laugh because some of them are quite heavy, and I'm sorry if you got upset by any of the more brutal content, because yeah, this hits home for a lot of us, I know, which I think is why people found the other one so entertaining. Getting rude messages online is just something that comes with being an outspoken person on the internet. I accept that totally, which is why I often try to make it something funny and entertaining that I can kind of enjoy and my friends can enjoy. But there is also a lot of shit that is just plain misogynistic and unacceptable, and I'm happy to share it all with you if you wanna hear about it. Let me know what you thought of this video. If you've had any hilarious messages lately from crazy people on Facebook, or you've seen any wild stuff, paste it down in the comments. Let's all share a laugh together. Let me know what videos you would like to see in the future. If you have any more ideas for MLM content, crazy internet places to look at, anything like that, let me know. Like this video if you enjoyed it, do share it if you think you know other people who will, and subscribe so that you don't miss the next one. Thank you again for watching. I will see you very soon.